Hello. I am David Walton. I am the writer and the director of this production, Land and Liberty, the Vinton Story. Before I say a word about the play, a couple of things I want to share first. I am indebted to the pastor here at Thrasher Memorial United Methodist Church, Reverend John Hemmings, and the congregation for use of the space in which this play is being produced. I'm also grateful to Mary Beth Lehman, chair of the Vinton History Museum, for entrusting me with this project, to my assistant director, Donna Proctor, for suggesting me to Mary Beth, and to Angela McNeil and the board of directors at Bayer Theater for their collaboration. Working together, I hope that we have put together an event that honors the revolutionary spirit that gave rise to the founding of the town of Vinton, as well as the state and the nation we are blessed to call home. Now, a word about the play. While Land and Liberty is the biography of the town of Vinton, it is more than that. Its lessons about land ownership and its important connection to liberty is a story for all of us. Ownership of our own land makes us more than serfs on another lord's property. It makes us kings and queens of our own castles. Our nation was founded on that principle that everyone is entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those three things comprise the fabric of our freedom, and that, more than anything else, is what this play attempts to commemorate and celebrate. The conversations that you will hear are imagined, but they are all based on facts. In the case of Thomas Jefferson, because his words are so well documented, some of what you hear him say will be direct quotes. I hope that it all will combine to entertain you, inform you, and inspire you, and to make you proud. I'm pleased to present to you Land and Liberty.
Mary, come and help me with these beans. Mary, come and help me with these beans. What are you all fancied up for? You have chores to do.
I'm going out. David is taking me to the celebration.
It's a bit early, isn't it? The festivities aren't scheduled to begin until later this afternoon.
Oh, David is taking me to the mill first. Some of his friends are gathering there before things get started. Then we're going together.
And who are these friends?
I imagine Lincoln Pedigo will be there, maybe his sister Pearl, and of course David, so...
No, I don't think so. We'll meet up with the Gishes when we get there. You can see David then. Founders' Day festivities will not begin until Mayor Pollard takes the podium. Until then, you'll not be unchaperoned.
I won't be unchaperoned. Uncle Isaac will be there too.
Isaac has town council business to attend to and will be too preoccupied to keep an eye on you, young lady. He needs to be early. We don't.
But Mother, all my friends will be there.
If all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you jump with them?
Mother, you know I'm old enough to...
Be responsible. You're old enough to know better. You will ride with your father and myself along with your brothers and sister to the festivities. Now, take this apron and help me with these beans.
Yes, ma'am. Stupid apron. Stupid beans. Stupid mother. Oh, that's all she does. house anymore. All she talks about is beans and land, and I never even get a break anymore. I don't understand why we have to snap beans today. I mean, Gish's Mill is being incorporated.
Not Gish's Mill, dear. It's Vinton.
I know, but it should be Gish's. It's been called that for ages. Why change it now? I feel sorry for David and his family.
Well, not all change is bad, Mary. I would think your generation would understand that. Besides, you should be honored to live in a town named after your great-grandfather.
A man I didn't know.
Well, your grandfather knew him, and Christian Vineyard was a great man, one with a vision for himself and for the land he was granted. It's right to honor him.
Well, what about Mr. Preston? He's responsible for the other half of the town's name. What did he do?
He owned over 900 acres of what makes up the town, that's what. Our family's long association with the land and Mr. Preston's land wealth make them worthy of the honor bestowed upon them.
Well, you can say the same thing about the Gishes.
Besides, Vinton is such a pretty name. Don't you agree?
Mother, I'm going to marry David Gish. Well, you think my name is pretty enough?
And now don't get fresh, dear. The deed is done. The town fathers discussed it. Mr. Jones proposed the name. The council agreed to it, and the state has approved it. The case is closed. As for your engagement, well, the details have yet to be worked out.
David will talk to Father. Eventually.
Well, until he does, there'll be no talk of nuptials.
Stupid beans. Why do I have to be the one to snap them? Where's Walter? Can't he help?
You are the eldest, and your brother is with your father. They're out checking on the farm.
But why on such an important day?
Founders Day or not, there's still work to be done. Your father has plenty of it. The cold start to the year put planting behind, but now everything is coming in at one time. The land is nothing if not fertile.
The land, that's all I hear about in this house.
Mary! The land is everything. It feeds us. It gives us a home. It grounds us to the past and points to the future.
Now you sound like David. He's so very proud that even with the new name, it was his family who led the charge to create the town in the first place.
Well, that is true. The Gish's ties to this area are as deep and far-reaching as ours, but we Vineyards had a say in it too.
Oh, and he's got big plans for his family's mill too. It'll be more than just a depot. You can make a bet on that.
Well, that does endear me to Mr. Gish just a bit.
I suppose I'm glad of that. But there's more to talk about than on what land such and such a business will be built.
Mary, do you know how we came to be in possession of this land?
I know it has something to do with Grandfather Vineyard, but other than that, no.
Well, perhaps you'd be interested to know that our family got this land before the country even came into existence. The United States was a dream in the hearts of patriots who fought to throw off the yoke of British tyranny.
That's very dramatic, Mother.
Well, you have no idea what it took for us, or for that matter, the Gishes, Mr. Preston, the McAdoos, or any of the other settlers who first came to this land to settle it.
What do you mean?
Surely you remember your history lessons and its tales of the Revolutionary War.
Of course.
And I assume you know the name Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, the nation's third president, responsible for the Louisiana Purchase.
Much more, dear. Why, it was Thomas Jefferson himself, long before he was president, who signed the land grant that made this land our own.
Really?
been too preoccupied with, well, other matters. But it's true. And on the eve of our Founders' Day celebration, maybe it's time for you to learn how Vinton came about.
So, we must think about evacuating these offices soon. Words come that the British plan to move on Petersburg, and if that happens, Richmond will surely be next.
And from where have you gotten this information?
Well, some of von Steuben's men report the redcoats have been spotted in the woods near Fleet's Hill under the cover of darkness.
And what does von Steuben say?
He hasn't said anything yet, sir, but I've heard ever since the turncoat Arnold entered Virginia.
I will hear no talk of Benedict Arnold. Do not even mention his name unless it's a report of his death. Good God, the damage that man has done to our cause.
I understand, sir.
And, do you know that British devil Phillips, the very same man whom, whilst in our custody and out of courtesy to his position, I entertained in my own home just last year.
Yes, sir.
But we, in a gesture of goodwill, released him in an exchange with Benjamin Lincoln. Of all people, Lincoln, a man who lobbied the Continental Congress for a brigadier generalship for himself when he had no experience for the job.
How dare we do such a thing?
A moment of misplaced compassion, I'm sure.
No doubt, so you understand the urgency of the moment.
Well, now, Arnold and Phillips, an unholy alliance if there was, have invaded our Commonwealth to do whatever dastardly deeds they see fit. It makes my blood boil.
So you agree with me? We must evacuate Richmond before it is too late.
No, not yet. I will not yield my offices to a traitor such as this.
But, sir, perhaps you don't understand the gravity of the situation.
I need no explanation from you, Mr. Short. I understand our position quite clearly. We are at war, and occasionally the battle is closer than we would like.
But if the war makes it to Petersburg, we will be trapped.
I'm not sure of that. Charlottesville isn't very far.
That's true, sir, but...
Short, we cannot allow it to appear that the governor of Virginia is rattled by nebulous reports of red-coated goblins spirited about in nighttime forests. Now, when von Steuben or any general in the field sends word to me, I will consider evacuating, not before.
If I may be candid, Governor, General von Steuben is a good man, and his men admire him, but as a leader, he speaks little English, and when he does, his German accent makes it hard for his soldiers to follow.
I hear he has no trouble pronouncing English curse words.
Yes, I hear the same thing, and it makes him quite popular with the lower ranks, but for everything else, he needs a translator, even in the field.
German is a difficult language, I'll admit. How our own native tongue descends from it is a source of amazement. But such as it is, we have made it our own. Oh, take this for example. Here, I have a land grant application.
A land grant, sir? At this critical moment, with British forces bearing down on us, how could you occupy yourself with such routine matter?
Well, surely you jest, Mr. Short. There is nothing routine in the granting of land to those willing to take ownership of it, especially in uncertain times. The future of the battle is in doubt.
You believe we will win this fight, do you not, sir?
What I believe matters little when weighed against facts. Now, only time and the expertise of our generals and the soldiers they command will tell if the fight is ours or if we return to British servitude.
You're correct, which is why everything must wait until this war is won. Do you not agree?
I do not. The orderly maintenance of the affairs of state, even in conflict, requires a firm hand in all its agencies. Granting land to worthy applicants is one of those functions.
Why is this so important to you?
If I have faith in anything, it is making sure that citizens who desire land in their name and have the means of obtaining it do so.
Why is that?
Well, because landowners will improve their lot, as well as the fate of the new nation, should it be born at conflict's end.
Of whom do you speak?
Why, William Tabler and Christian Vineyard of Botetourt County.
Tabler and Vineyard? I would have at least thought the grants were being requested by people of note.
I fear that William and Mary education you're receiving is making you an elitist, my friend.
It's not that, sir. It's just that there's so many more pressing matters that warrant your attention. I know because as your secretary, I've seen them come across your desk.
Well, this matter, which I believe is pressing, as you call it, must have escaped your attention. It was you who placed it on my desk.
Yes, I'm sure I must have, but how I overlooked someone named Vineyard is a wonder. It's quite an interesting name. Is he from a family of vintners?
Of course not. The name has nothing to do with making wine. Instead, both of these men are of German descent, and their names reflect as much.
Oh, I see.
Do you? Really? Well, listen and learn, my friend. Mr. Vineyard's original name was Violent, which, when spoken in German, sounds like our English word for vineyard. The same is true of Mr. Tabler's original name, Dabler.
I fail to see the importance, sir.
Well, like many who immigrate from other lands, their names were changed to accommodate our lazy English-speaking tongues. How unfair it is for them.
I'm sure that's very interesting, sir.
Try to contain your enthusiasm, Will. It might be contagious.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm afraid I'm distracted by other matters like British troop movements.
Will, what are we fighting for?
For freedom, sir, of course.
Freedom from what?
Tyranny from a king who presumes he knows what's best for the people whom he's far removed.
True. What else?
For the right of self-determination, for each man to decide for himself what's best for him and his family, and to pursue, as yourself has written, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well, we see that education of yours is being put to good use.
Your excellent Declaration of Independence circulates far beyond the gates of William and Mary. We all know those words well.
And do you not think that Messrs. Tabler and Vineyard know them too?
I'm sure they must.
Then why do you think they've come here?
I expect for the same reasons, sir.
Short, people leave their homelands for a variety of reasons. Now, it is clear that Messrs. Vineyard and Tabler are the sons of immigrants, if not immigrants themselves. Though their families may have more recently arrived, they are no different than you and me.
Again, you're correct.
Do you begrudge these men the land they've requested and provided funds for its procurement?
I do not, sir, and I apologize if I implied such a thing.
Besides, with their payment of 15 shillings sterling, these Germans have done more than our ancestors when they arrived. They freely interloped on occupied territory.
If you speak of the Indians, well, they are uncivilized and in need of our guidance and care. They are inferior after all.
Oh, pish-posh. I do not denigrate the civilization of the native peoples of this continent. Now, true, I am horrified by their savagery, but I am equally saddened by our own abuses.
But only in self-defense.
Are you so sure? If you've not heard of it, read the lament of Mingo Chief Logan concerning the murder of his family by white settlers. It will convince you, as it has me, that the Indian in body and mind is equal to the white man.
I'm sorry. Again, I have misspoken.
Will, you know I have much affection for you. I have told many you are my own adopted son.
I do not take your affection for granted.
But I do not wish to see you go down a path of intolerance and bigotry such as I myself have fallen victim. I am not innocent of oppressing others labeled inferior. I am well aware of my own hypocrisies.
You speak of slavery, I presume.
Oh, we've got a wolf by its ear, Will, and we can neither safely hold it nor let it go. Now, I hope the many proposals I have made to end this hideous blot will come to fruition. If not, mark my words, this will not be the last war fought to free people on this continent.
Do you foresee a fight over the issue?
Well, I do not think it takes a prophet to see what is in the offing if we do not legislate this evil away.
God forbid another war.
Well, God has not seen fit to forbid the current war, and that is the one we must win first. Only then can we live to fight another day.
So, what must we do?
As I am doing, grant land into the hand of every man with the means to make something of it. That is the key to a great nation, and people like the tailors and the vineyards are its backbone.
How is that?
Because George III has seen fit to make the colonies a creation in his own image. Thus we are all serfs to his lordship's whim and will.
That is why we will win this war.
Perhaps. But if in our victory we do not create a path for the former serf to become lord of his own estate, we will have failed.
There are many of our number who see our future in growing cities rather than empty land, and in commerce rather than farming.
I do not dispute the importance of urban development. Yet even in cities, private ownership of land is preferable to a system of rent to landlords. For those who rent never have an incentive to improve their conditions.
I'm not sure Mr. Hamilton and his friends would agree with you.
Oh, Hamilton be damned. He has never turned a spade nor plowed a field in his life, and it shows. Such is his commitment to centralized government. He would have an American monarch.
But you, sir?
I see a land where William Tablers and Christian vineyards by the thousands, nay, the millions, are kings of their own castles. With the sweat of their brow, they will tend to their land, becoming self-sufficient and dependent only upon themselves.
But how will we unite if we are so independent?
Independence doesn't mean ignorance of others' needs. No. Men, strengthened by their resolve to better themselves, will work to see their neighbors do the same. I guarantee it.
You describe a paradise.
No, not a paradise. We have too many sins to atone for, now and in the future.
Listen to us. In this room, we wage a battle of ideals, while a different kind of war rages around us. I fear if we do not win the latter, the former will be moot.
Well, that is why this land grant, like all the others I have signed as governor, is so important. Listen to me and listen well. The land is everything.
So, will you approve their application?
Well, that depends on what the registrar of the land office recommends. Personally, I can see no reason why it will not be approved. That area of Botetourt County cries out for settlement.
How do you know that, sir?
Well, I've ridden near there on my way to Fincastle some years back when I surveyed the natural bridge before I bought it.
I see.
And I know, too, that John McAdoo, the assignee of these lands, owns some of the most fertile patches of ground in the valley. All along the Roanoke River and its tributaries is rich soil for farming, dense woodlands for hunting, and rolling hills perfect for a homestead.
It sounds beautiful.
It is. And when this war ends, it will make a good place for a pair of large German families to call home.
American families?
Yes, Will. Good American families. Now, go to the market and buy a Johnny cake or two, or perhaps a meat pie. All of this talk of land and liberty has made me hungry.
Aye, sir.
Yes, the birth of the nation was in doubt.
But still, Grandfather Christian wanted to invest in it. Why?
Well, I expect he had the same dreams everyone else had who came to the New World, land ownership.
But what about their lives in Germany? What made them leave?
Well, Grandfather Christian was born here, in Pennsylvania, I believe. But his father, a man named Johannes, was from a depressed area in Germany. Land was scarce, there was religious persecution. It's a common story.
Was Grandfather and the other man...
You mean Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am. Were they... poor?
Well, I expect they had less than some, but more means than others. They were, after all, able to scrape together 15 shillings to buy their land.
That doesn't sound like very much.
Well, it's not the amount that was important, rather the land. It was inexpensive because of its abundance. Oh, but to have land of any amount in one's own name, well, that was something no German peasant could have dreamed of. But we Americans, well, that's a different story.
Then the war came. They must have been desperate.
Any word yet?
No, nothing. I checked in all the taverns in Fincastle. No post riders have arrived this week.
I'm sorry. It must be disappointing to have to go all that way and receive no news. Was it at least a quiet ride? No trouble?
No patrols this week, thank God. I had a lot of time to think about the land.
On which we will have many years to raise children, and whatever other blessings God sees fit to give.
You're assuming the land grant will be made. Nothing is certain, Anna, nothing. This wait we have to endure proves it.
Well, it's not like the governor doesn't have other things on his mind.
True enough. The war must be fought, and by the grace of God, won.
We have spent much of our adult lives under the shadow of this war.
Aye. We've given many supplies, much of what we have, to ensure a patriot victory.
Yes, we have.
I cannot see, then, why our application has taken so long. I have a good mind to ride to Richmond and meet with Jefferson myself.
Listen to you. We have a roof over our heads and still some food in our stores. And we have each other. Whether we live here or at Glade Creek, little matters.
But how much better it will be there. On our own land, we can build what we want, and plant what we want, to do what we want. Without that grant, we're no better off than Papa was in Neustadt, a peasant in someone else's garden.
There is no reason for us to be rejected. Our reputation is secure, and Mr. McAdoo has agreed to it. Have faith.
I do. Really.
I predict our children will be running alongside Glade Creek or Wolf Creek and getting into trouble before next summer.
I hope you're right. Where are the children? It's too quiet in here.
Maria came by this morning and brought us some eggs. And I gave her our children for the day. It seemed an even exchange.
Only if she's a glutton for punishment.
Perhaps. But our boys enjoy spending time with their cousins. I expect they'll be home in a short while, though. Maria looked a little peaked, if you ask me. As much as she enjoys having a house full of children, it may be too much for her.
No doubt. Besides, Chris will soon be 6, old enough to start doing chores. He should be home.
Now you quiet yourself. That child will have a whole lifetime to work. You leave him be.
By the time I was his age, I was already digging potatoes in the field.
And did you enjoy the work?
Enjoying it was never the point. You work so you can eat.
How very German of you.
Oh, are you so quickly forgetting our roots for the comforts of the New World's frontier life?
Well, if this is comfort, count me out.
You're right. This isn't comfortable. And it won't be until we have land of our own.
All in God's time, my love. Perhaps it is good that the grant is delayed. It will give all else swirling around us time to settle down.
Oh, if it's the war you speak of, thankfully it is far away for now. Let it stay up north or down south. It is out of our way.
Yes, but unless our side wins, our dream of owning land will be just that, a dream.
You're right, my dear. How did you get so smart?
I'm a good listener. I too remember what my father said about his life in the old world. It was no life at all, unless you owned your own estate or had your own store in town. Who could afford that? At least here there's land in abundance. Good land to be settled.
And I'm anxious to claim my piece of it. Well, to share it with your brother, of course. Half of the 15 shillings are his.
Wilhelm is a good man.
He's William here, my dear. Remember, William.
You call him what you want to. He's Wilhelm to me, to always an annoying little brother.
Suit yourself. So, what's for supper?
I was thinking something different. How about potatoes?
Oh, Anna, surely we've eaten them all by now. The harvest was...
Months ago. As you said yesterday, and the day before that. I know, but be grateful for a plentiful harvest, a cool root cellar, and soldiers who are in too much of a hurry to take them all.
Damn your sensibilities. I suppose I'll go out and see if I can get a rabbit to add to the pot.
Stop right there. Now you remember, skinning and dressing are your job, big man. If you shoot it, you clean it. Well, come in. No need to wait for an invitation.
And since when must I stand on formalities in my sister's house?
Whose house?
My sister's.
Good boy. Where's Maria?
Oh, she's coming along, just giving last little instructions to the children. She's moving a little slower these days.
Now you remember what I said. Stay out of the barn and don't climb any trees higher than you are as tall.
Sage wisdom, Maria. Did you yourself listen when your mother spoke to you in such a way?
Of course not. But what's a mother to do except give her children advice?
Ah, advice. That's what they call it nowadays.
So, what's the news from Fen Castle?
None, I'm afraid. I checked all the taverns in town. No dispatches from Richmond since the last time I was there.
I've heard this story before. Come, Maria, let's go give the children more advice.
No riders this week, William. None! And I didn't tell Anna, but there is talk of troop movement coming north from the Carolinas. There are also rumors of the British marching toward Richmond. Maybe that's what is slowing things down.
Perhaps. It makes me wonder what Washington has up his sleeve.
Well, I hope better than what the army endured at Valley Forge.
Amen to that, brother. Water?
Yes, water, for now. But whatever the reason, still, we wait.
We could be doing worse, I suppose. Did Maria look all right to you?
I guess so. I didn't really get a good look. But Anna did say something about her being peaked. She's not in the family way again, is she?
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Well, maybe she's like the rest of us, tired of waiting. It has been years since McAdoo first surveyed that land, and almost as long since he offered the sale. I've lost track of how long ago we even applied to the land office.
Patience is a virtue, Chris.
You and Anna are cut from the same cloth.
Well, that's understandable.
The abundant supplies I gave to the Continental Army should have been enough for a quick response. They wrote my name down as a contributor.
Well, you're right. That should do it. Just a little more time, Chris. Good things are coming. I can sense it.
Again, just like your sister, always happy. Is it not possible to allow me to wallow in my impatient misery just for a moment?
Okay, fine. Be miserable. I'll wait.
I can't be expected to wallow with you whistling like a songbird.
Okay, then let's talk about happier things, such as what are your plans for your share of the property?
Truth be told, I spent so much time worrying about getting the land, I haven't given much thought to what will happen when we do.
Well, think on it now. What will you do?
Well, I suppose I'll build a house first. That would be a good start. I'll walk the land and find the best rise on the property, maybe overlooking one of the creeks, and choose a homestead from there. Other than that, I don't know. You?
Well, I have given it a great deal of thought, and what I think is that this land is just the start. I want to build an empire. Half of a 115-acre land grant just isn't enough for me.
Well, since you put it that way, maybe I too will seek more land. How much farming can you really do on just 57 acres?
That's the spirit.
Besides, our claim is in the far reaches of Bonatoc County. There is much land out there to develop. It's also far from Fincastle, too far to be practical for conducting business. Perhaps one day we'll have our own county, or maybe even a city.
Now you're talking. And what will we name this growing metropolis?
Let me see. How about Taylorville?
Oh no, brother, you flatter me. No, I much prefer Vineyard Town.
I like it.
Well, it looks like your mood has improved.
Show some respect, for you are addressing His Excellency, the Mayor of Vineyard Town. I suppose that makes you Lady Anna, wife of His Excellency.
What on earth are you two talking about?
Oh, it's nothing. Just the fleeting vision of two fools.
That I believe.
Maria, here now. Take a seat, catch your breath.
Oh, goodness sake, I'm fine. It's just a cough. The spring air has a chill in it, that's all.
I don't like it.
Can I get you something to drink? Some water, perhaps? A Christian well.
No, please, do not trouble yourself. Oh, we should be heading home soon. I want to get there before dark.
It's no trouble. I can send Chris to the well to fill a bucket. We need more anyway.
You'll do no such thing. He's just a child.
What is it about that boy and chores that has all the women in this house trembling on his behalf?
William will fetch some water for us as we pass by. Just enough until we can make it home.
Are you sure there's nothing we cannot do?
I coughed, that's all. I'm perfectly fine. Thank you for sending Chris and Elizabeth to play with our boys. It was so good to hear them together. A blessing. Come, Will, let's get the children home.
Your Excellency, Madame.
Oh, Madam you. Now go on, take your wife home.
As you wish. Good day to you both.
I would like to make it home before tomorrow morning if you don't mind.
How long did it take for them to get their land, Mother?
do know the land had been surveyed in 1774, a full 6 years before the grant was finalized.
6 years? That's a lifetime.
It is when you're young, dear, like you. But remember, there was a war going on.
Yes, I'm sure that slowed things.
And don't forget bureaucracy. Then, as now, the wheels of progress grind slowly. Well, look how long it took for us to get Vinton incorporated. The first discussions were over 5 years ago.
And yet so many people moved here. The railroad really brought people in, didn't it?
Indeed. Pardon me, misses the quiet time we used to enjoy in town.
Now who's afraid of change?
No, not afraid. Just wondering what it'll all grow up to be. I'm sure the bureaucrats will have their say.
I wonder if Thomas Jefferson and those of his time felt the same.
Perhaps they did.
Enter. Will, I am glad you've come. I need a diversion from all of this tedious work. Is there any news today?
There is, sir. None of it good, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm ready, though I fear I already know.
General Lafayette requests an audience. What von Steuben would not report, he is apparently ready to do. The British are unmistakably planning to raid Richmond.
Well, that's that, I suppose. I felt sure General Greene would hold Cornwallis in North Carolina.
That was the hope.
Do we know the timing?
I was not informed, however I'm sure General Lafayette is prepared to give a full report. Now, do you wish to evacuate, sir?
No, not yet. I'll wait until I speak with the general. I am glad Martha and the children are safe at Monticello. Is there by chance any correspondence from her today?
Yes, there is something here from Mrs. Jefferson.
Little Lucy still languishes. Martha herself is not well. Listen to this. Time wastes too fast. Every letter I trace tells me with what rapidity life follows my pen. The days and hours of it are flying over our heads like clouds of windy day, never to return. More, everything presses on. Oh, this damned war. It has inflicted pains far beyond the battlefield.
We will win it, sir.
Oh, I have faith in Washington and the others. They are giving all they have and then some. If victory can be won, they will win it. And when they do, liberty will be the sweetest fruit of all the providential trees. Is there anything else today?
Yes, there's this from the land office. I believe it to be from John Harvey himself. The Botetourt County land grant for table and vineyard we discussed before.
Oh, excellent! And did the registrar sign it?
Yes, John Harvey's signature is here, along with note that table and vineyard are entitled to the land described within.
Oh, good. Read it to me, please. Just the description of the plat.
Ah, yes, very well. Thomas Jefferson, Esquire, Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, etc., in consideration of the ancient composition of 15 shillings, etc.
Just the parcel description, please, Mr. Short.
Oh yes, here it is. 115 acres by survey bearing date the 2nd day of May, 1774. Lying and being within the county of Botetourt on the waters of Wolf Creek forming the survey the said McAdoo lives on, and bounded as follows to wit. beginning at 3 White Oaks, corner to the old survey, then smoke approximately 40 degrees west, and
92 poles to 2 black oaks on a ridge south. 89 degrees west, 52
Mr.
poles
Jefferson, sir, how extraordinary. Your description follows the placements on this plat exactly.
Well, remember, this area is not unfamiliar to me. I have ridden through it and taken note of its beauty. Besides, Wolf Creek is not far from Bedford County, where my own poplar forest is. I know this area well.
Yes, but 2 Black Oaks, sir, a ridge south. How could you know that?
I confess, this is not the first time this office has settled deeds from John McAdoo. I've mentioned him before. One gets rather familiar with the details of the land when you've read enough of it.
Yes, of course.
Is there anything of note in the land grant?
No, sir. Other than 15 shillings have been paid to the state treasury, it appears to be a standard grant.
Very good. Well, let me have it then. I want you to see that a postwriter gets this. I want you to personally watch that it be put in his pack and that he ride west with it. There is urgency to my request.
Why is that, sir?
Well, it's come to my attention that Christian Vineyard was quite generous with his supplies when the Continental Army came to his door seeking provisions. Such patriotism deserves reward.
I wish I could do more to advance the cause of liberty, but Father won't hear of it.
You serve in the student militia at William and Mary, do you not?
Yes, but I could do more. I should do more.
Your father has chosen the better part, my friend. But believe me, your education is just as important as Mr. Vineyard's provisions.
Yes, but my scurry county home needs all the able-bodied men it could get. Father's own militia has seen action in the Tidewater.
Yes, but that was early in the war, Will. And you were too young.
But now...
But now, you are otherwise furthering the cause of liberty by helping form a new government for when the war ends.
I'm only a secretary, while my father is a soldier.
Only a secretary. Is that all this position means to you?
No, Mr. Jefferson, I'm sorry. I do not mean to sound as if I'm ungrateful. I am. It's just that other men my age are fighting and dying to give breath to this new country, and meanwhile I'm reading meets and bounds as distant land surveys.
Yes, but every black oak tree and every small tributary that branches from a mighty river form the boundaries of this country we are giving our lives to.
I understand, sir. I just want to matter.
You want to matter.
Please do not jest. I am serious.
I know you are, Will. Do you know how old I am?
No, sir.
I'm 38. And do you know the age limit for service in the Continental Army?
Yes, sir. 50.
And yet I'm not a soldier, am I?
No.
And I've never served either. Now, I could have, but I lack military experience. I would have been terrible at it. And I know that men would have died because of me. No, I know myself quite well. I know my skills. I am better suited to the affairs of state.
Make no apologies for that, Mr. Jefferson. Your eloquence in the Declaration of Independence and in your bill for religious freedom in Virginia prove you are rightly serving the patriot cause.
Then, young Will, why do you doubt your own patriotism in the same service? Now, there may be a time when you are called to fight, but for now, serve the effort with contentment where you are called.
Aye, sir. I will try.
Do more than try. Succeed.
I will.
For now, further our cause by making sure Christian Vineyard and William Taylor get their land. The sooner they own it, the quicker they'll be to defend it if necessary.
Yes, sir.
It's here, in our hands.
I'm so proud of you, Christian. You worked so hard and you waited so long.
It says here, the original survey for this land was in 1774, right about the time we were married. 7 years? It feels like so long ago, yet wasn't that just yesterday?
How fast it goes. So, what will we do now?
Well, celebrate, of course, then plan. William and I will have to make some decisions.
Like what?
Well, we have dreamed a great deal and talked more than that. But now that the land is in our hands, we have to put that talk into action. The time has come to make our hopes a reality.
And how will you do that, Mr. Vineyard?
There will be a house to be built, of course, for you and the children. A fine house, fit for a queen.
So I've received a promotion. I'm a queen now. And before I was just a lowly mayor's wife.
What kind of house are you wanting, Your Majesty? 2 grand stories with a broad portico, high ceilings, and 10 rooms?
And who will be cleaning such a monstrosity of a house, good sir? No, a simple home will do.
Is that all you want?
Perhaps we could build it on a small rise, overlooking the land and the fields.
Not on one of the creeks.
No, not near the water. I would fear the children playing beyond my reach.
A bluff it will be then. It will give me a better view of the crops anyway.
What will we grow?
Anything. Everything. Oh, Anna, it is good land. And we'll have livestock too. Even before the house, we'll build a barn. For the cows, of course.
Well, there goes my grand house. And where will we live?
Alongside them, of course.
We will keep such company as with ox and ass.
I can think of at least one other born in such humble circumstances.
You, Mr. Vineyard, are no Messiah.
To be sure, I have gotten ahead of myself.
That you have.
Well, how about I build a cabin first?
And where is the rich landowner, Mr. Vineyard?
Here I am, Dummkopf. Now sit down before you fall down.
I'm celebrating. And you're brooding. And I'm the dumb one.
That's enough, Will. He's been like this all day, ever since the courier came with the news.
He hasn't changed this one. Perhaps I should make him something to eat.
Eat? At a time like this? No! Let's celebrate! More brandy!
Well, I suppose a little toast would not hurt.
To a little toast. Make mine a big one.
You've had a head start on toasts, mister. A small one will do.
Save some for the rest of us.
There's plenty to go around.
Not if you keep it up.
Another good sir.
But I didn't even get to make a toast.
That's because I made one for you. To us, the richest people in all the colonies.
Soon to be states.
From your lips to God's ears.
I hardly think 115 acres shared between us makes us the wealthiest in the land anyway.
It makes us the wealthiest people I know.
Wealth is relative, brother.
It's more land than my father could have ever dreamed of owning.
Aye, mine as well.
I can see we're not the Washingtons or the Jeffersons, but with our own land, we can be as free as either of them.
Yes, I agree. A drink to celebrate.
Keep this for safekeeping until I can collect my thoughts.
Yes, Captain.
I'm thirsty.
No, you're drunk.
Yes, I am. And you're beautiful.
Oh, good Lord, be quiet.
I have it. A toast. At this auspicious moment, reflection upon its importance is necessary, as is thanks to the God in whose care I was christened when just a babe in the Reformed Church.
Aye, me too. We've come quite a long way since Pennsylvania.
Shh, let me finish.
I'll be as quiet as a mouse.
Where was I? Oh, yes. The spirit that brought our fathers to this new world is the same spirit that has now delivered this new land into our hands.
Oh, how long does this go on? Can we drink now?
In a minute. Goodness, Wilhelm, you are still such a child.
Well, if a droning speech and a moment of celebration is what it means to grow up, I'll stay young.
You see what I have to put up with.
You have my sympathies.
As I was saying, in this moment of celebration, I give thanks to God and raise a toast to my brother-in-law, Wilhelm Dabler, with whose support
And who's 7.5 shillings?
and his 7.5 shillings.
My drink, please, dear.
Not yet, do you mind?
Oh, get on with it!
And to our wives and children, for whom we have fought so hard and come so far, I say thank you.
Now?
One more thing.
Oh, for heaven's sake! Okay.
And for this new country, being birthed through the sacrifices of so many, I pray for its success. May we all live in a land of liberty, free to make our own choices and to live our own lives.
Oh, finally! My drink, please, dear.
A toast to the future. Whatever this land we now own becomes, let it be a place where our descendants and their families will grow and prosper and live free. To the land, to liberty.
Amen.
I cannot imagine how excited they must have been to finally get their land.
Oh, they were. At first.
What do you mean at first?
Sadly, not long after the grant had been given, William's wife Maria died.
Oh, Mother, how sad. What happened?
Oh, who can say? It happened so long ago and the story wasn't told.
Poor Mr. Tabler, the children.
Yes, it was tragic. And as you can imagine, he couldn't bear the thought of living on the land without her. So William deeded his half of the land to your great-grandfather, moved back up north, and never returned.
So it was only Grandfather Christian and his family who moved here.
Yes.
I wonder what they did first.
Oh, I know that answer. They built this house.
But how? It is so big it must have cost a fortune.
No, they built only the front parlor with 2 small rooms above. Yet still they raised 10 children in it. One was your grandfather Abraham. It was he who began building and enlarging this house. And we are blessed to have it now for ourselves.
Yes, we are, and I will never take it for granted again, and I hope I never leave it.
Really? I wonder what Mr. Gish will have to say about that.
I suppose I should say I do not wish to leave it until the time is right.
Is Mr. Gish planning to build you a house as fine as this?
Oh, I don't know. But he certainly has big dreams for Vinton.
As do we Vineyards. And the Pedagogues, Thrashers, Pollards, Funks, Walkers, and all the other families who call it home.
And to think, it all began with one small land grant over 100 years ago. Mother, what do you think it will become?
The town?
Yes, Vinton. What do you think it will become?
Oh. I don't know. With Roanoke growing next door and more people moving in, I can imagine Vinton will become a bustling place. A right smart little city in its own right. There will be a town center, I'm sure. Perhaps rows of fine streets laid out from it, with houses large and small. There should be a park or two. Yes, that would be nice. Maybe along Glade or Wolf Creek.
And don't forget the mill.
Well, how can I forget that?
Gish's Mill will have its place. David thinks it'll be the largest in Virginia.
The largest or not, its legacy is secured. It is, after all, pictured on the new town seal.
Forever and ever. That almost makes up for it not being called Gish's Mill anymore.
Almost, I'm sure. Well, we've snapped enough beans for now. I'll go get your father. It's time we started to think about leaving for the festivities.
I'm excited.
Oh, me too. It's hard to imagine this day has finally come. Vinton has been built on the dreams and hard work of those who've gone before. Now it's our turn to do the same. So, dream big, my dear, and work hard. This land and its future belongs to you.
Land and liberty. They go hand in hand, don't they?
They do indeed, and that, my dear, is something to celebrate.